Welcome back, everybody. It is another round of the Lotus Challenge 2025 season, brought to you in partnership with Dunlop Tires South Africa and ATS Motorsport Supplies. We have done 2 rounds now at Red Star Raceway, and we are off to Zwartkops, where you can see it is definitely on the wet side. This is going to create some really interesting driving out there. We haven't seen a wet race in Lotus Challenge for quite a while. Head on over to our website and Facebook page for more information about how you can get involved. But without further ado, let's strap in and try and calm those nerves and get ready to go. But first, let's take a look at a few of our incredible partners who have made this all possible. N4 Autocraft, your preferred auto body repairer in Pretoria East. Adlam Automotive, your one-stop race car shop. Need race support? Look no further. African Packaging and Water Solutions are the leading supplier of quality bubble insulation packaging and pool cover products. Control Systems Integration, a pioneering systems integrator renowned for its unwavering commitment to high work ethics and project delivery. Let's get those engines rolling, though. It's time for race 1. 1 of 3, of course, but race 1 does look to be extremely wet. Check out that tarmac. There is a lot of standing water there. Everybody lining up for the grid. Let's see how this goes. For race 1, 30 seconds on the board. Almost time for lights out. But who will we see take the win? It's going to be a very interesting race. Tricky conditions, of course. Our drivers in South Africa aren't used to it. But off we go. Oh, looks like Tennis Butters has stalled. That's really unfortunate. All B-class managers navigate around. Looks like L-class manages to do the same. Really difficult to get these cars off the line in such wet, tricky, treacherous conditions. Through turn 1 we go on the board with David Jeremy. And looking back there to Sean Hewitt, fantastic to have Sean Hewitt back in action. In fact, you will see a number of familiar faces in B-Class returning today at Zwartkops in these incredible conditions. Look how much water as we go on board now with Nick Hodgson, who looks to be challenging. It's Andre Duplessis just up ahead, and Ruan van der Walt alongside as well. So those 3 are looking to be battling at the top of Class L. We've got Andy Fulton now on board with him. Oh, my goodness, already somebody off the track. Will he manage to hold on to it? Oh, and just into the tires. That is really unfortunate for Andy Fulton, who is in a brand new car today and already showing a little bit of damage. And worse for wear, motorsport, I tell you what, is not for the faint of heart, and Andy will be absolutely despondent having made that mistake straight out the blocks. But let's have another look at the start of race 1, and you can see Jean de Toy just going straight around the outside of, I think that was Sean Hepburn. Incredible start from Jean. But as we look from the outside now of turn 2, looking at a spectator's point of view here, you can see JP Nokia leading the pack through turn 1. Everybody's super ginger, super cautious, just trying to make sure that they get through unharmed. And this is obviously the restart, and here we go. These guys are absolutely back on it once again after a red flag, and we are back racing once again on board with Nick Hodgson. More water hitting that camera. It's going to be really interesting to see how these drivers could try and work their way through the pack. Oh, Sean Hepburn being very brave, going up the inside of turn 2 on the restart. That was brave, and he has reaped the rewards though and made up a number of positions with David Jeremy now towards the mid pack of Class B. You can see everybody getting very squirrely on the power, usually on the brakes. This time on the power, there's just absolutely no grip. And around the outside tries David Jeremy through turn 6 with that looks to be Jeff Gable on his outside, and Jeff is going to slide around the outside. Will he be able to make that stick through turn 8? Turn 8, in fact, around a very wide line in the wet, does have a lot more grip. We see Sean Hewitt there and Ruan van der Walt just behind him in Class L. Really having a good showing at the moment is Sean, and you can see JP Nokia really building a massive lead at this early stage of the race. I tell you what, these cars look like from the outside, though, going quite slow, but I tell you what, these guys are doing absolutely everything in their power to keep these cars just in a straight line. Everybody, of course, on semi-slick still. It's not like anybody has switched to specialized wet tires for Lotus Challenge. We're all still on semi-slicks and absolutely battling these conditions as much as each other at this stage of the race, given how wet it is. You can see Barry Dunford there coming through turn 2, possibly having recovered from a spin, given how far. And there it is. There's Barry spinning off. That's really unfortunate. Again, onboard camera, you can see just how wet it is and how difficult it is for these drivers in these tricky conditions. On board with Ron van der Walt having an absolutely fantastic showing at this stage as we go into lap 2 and taking David Jeremy on the inside. That's a Class B car. Very seldom that you see L's taking on the likes of the B's, but in these wet conditions, things have absolutely evened up, and some of these L's are really showing a good turn of pace. You can see Nick Hodgson there squeaking through on David Jeremy as well, and now both of them challenging Sean Hewitt up ahead. Looks like Rowan van der Walt has got through, but as we go through turn 6, Rowan just gets a little bit aggressive on the throttle and goes around, does a nice little pirouette and back onto the track, rejoins, so he's not out of the race, but my goodness, he's going to be disappointed with himself, I am sure, after spinning out from the lead of this race, the first race of 3 for today. And you can see just how much water there still is and those dark clouds as well. JP Nokia still showing us how it's done at the top of Class B and the lead of this race, but you can see Nick Hodgson has managed to work his way through both Sean Hewitt and Jeff Gable. Okay, so it looks like we've got a recovering car there. That looks to be Joseph Kotzer, and I think we might get to see a replay of that just now. We'll have to cut back to that, but it does look to be a recovering Joseph Kotzer in Class B, also returning for the first time this season. Fantastic to have him back on board with us. You can see Ronnie Reeb there in B84. Brilliant to have Ronnie. Also, I believe that is a brand new or rebuilt Class B car. Fantastic to have him on board. There we go. Rear view camera of David Jeremy, almost doing an Andy Fulton there, but just managing to keep it out the barriers. That is fantastic car control from Joseph. It is incredibly slippery when you get your car offline and onto the grass. There is just absolutely no grip whatsoever. You think it's slippery out on the tarmac? I tell you what, that grass is like ice. And now we're back on board with Rowan van der Walt, who's looking to challenge Sean Hepburn. Usually we're seeing Sean right up at the front. We got another spinner. That looks to be Wesley Maxwell, just managing to collect that as well and gather the car up before heading towards the barriers and a certain accident. Fantastically well done from Wesley Maxwell, on board with Ben Knights, having a phenomenal race so far, picking up loads of positions. Speaking of, Jean de Toy looks to be picking up a position. Rowan van der Walt once again having a little bit of defensive action here, watching to make sure. And another spin. You see, when you're braking in these cars in the wet, you have absolutely got to make sure that you are braking in a straight line, otherwise you will be going in a circle. Jean de Toy making up a couple of positions there from 2 cars spinning out, one of them being Ron van der Walt. I didn't quite catch who the other one was, but back now with Ben Knights once again making up some good positions. You can see, I think, Wesley Maxwell in the mirrors of Ben Knights, going up the inside of Ben into turn 2. Often not the best move to make here at Zwartkops, but that's in the dry. In the wet, it's definitely a whole different kettle of fish. Rowan van der Walt now going round the outside of Ben Knights. We're in Class L here, of course, and Rowan getting a good little slipstream as well. Is he going to make a move? Wesley looks to be making a move on Brett van Rensburg up ahead, and it doesn't quite make it happen, but it does give Rowan a lovely run round the outside of Wesley Maxwell, and looking to run round the outside of Brett as well. But you can see just how slippery those curbs are, and you can see a little shake of the head from Rowan. He knew that wasn't going to pan out for him, just backed out of it, and it has allowed Wesley to scamper away. Rowan getting quite squirrely under the brakes once again, but manages to to keep the car going. Ben showing a lovely bit of car control there, getting both Ruan and going up the inside of Brett. Will he make this move stick? Looks like he's got it under control and slips by, slides through. Hugely experienced is Ben Knights and absolutely makes use of every one of those pieces of race experience that he has and makes the move stick. Looks like Nick Hodgson though has made a move on JP Nokia into turn 5, and that is, I believe, the lead of the race. Phenomenal driving at the moment from Nick and JP, trying to just keep these cars on the track. You can see how squirrely JP was getting through the exit of 5, and even just on that straight between 5 and 6, it is so tricky. Speaking of tricky, David Jeremy, I should say, in a tricky situation here with Jeff Gable and Sean Hewitt. It looks like Jeff is desperately trying to defend against Sean. Oh, Sean's almost round in a circle, just manages to collect it, and David does extremely well to not run into the back of Sean. You can see all these cars have their rain lights on. Brilliant stuff, because there just is so little visibility. You absolutely need that reference point. Class L's, of course, have brake lights themselves. You can see they're illuminated from Jean Detoy and Wesley Maxwell up ahead. Oh, and Ruan, just once again, that car looking quite snappy on acceleration, just carrying a little bit too much speed through turn 6, but it has allowed him to go round the outside of Wesley Maxwell and find a little bit of grip on the outside. Extremely rare to see that through turn 6. Turn 6 outside is generally in the dry, super slippery, but working for Ruan van der Walt, and he's gone from behind Wesley to not only in front of Wesley but in front of Jean as well. And look at that, he's absolutely scampering away and into turn 1. Turn 1 is such a commitment corner, huge commitment there from Wesley, and manages to make it stick. Oh, but Ruan has spun. Again, we've seen 3 people now, 3 drivers spinning off through turn 1. You can see just how quickly the car goes around in a circle, and again, Ruan just a little bit lucky. Oh, did he hit the barrier there? He might have hit the barrier with his rear, but I think he's going to be able to continue. Continuing now is this battle between Sean Hewitt and David Jeremy. Sean getting very sideways once again, but David just not quite able to make it stick. Oh, actually, he's going to make it stick here with that little waggle from Sean as they go up the hill into turn 5. Definitely allow David Jeremy to slip through there, and Sean Hewitt now just tucking in behind, looking to try and capitalize on any mistakes that David Jeremy may or may not make, but he is definitely going to try and pull a little bit of a gap. You can see just how squirrely Sean is on that throttle. Absolutely understandable in these Class Bs. Oh, and unfortunately Ruan van der Walt going around a circle again, having had such a promising start and showing a huge amount of talent in the wet. He's just fallen foul to a couple of little mistakes, and it has absolutely punished him and everybody else who's made a small mistake. It really is incredible just how quickly things can go wrong in the wet. Tim Venn, though, what a move. Our rookie from last year in Class L, taking on the experienced Jean Detoy. Jean, of course, one of our 100 club. That's 100 race events, not 100 races, 100 race events. And yet the rookie is managing to make a move on Jean. That was phenomenal to watch. And now we have Nick Hodgson. Looks like he's coming up to I think that's Ronnie Reed, must be coming up to lap Ronnie. This is extremely unusual. I don't think we've ever seen a Class L car not only lead the race but also come to lap people. That's incredible. But David Jeremy now looking for the lead in Class B. We're used to David leading from start to finish. He's really had to work for this one. Again, JP Nokia just getting quite squirrely on the exit, and that allowed David to put a little bit of daylight between the two of them and make that move stick. Now we've got Joseph Kotzer looking, I believe that's on a bit of a recovery after his spin through turn 1, and goes past on Jean Detoy, but recovering well there, Joseph, and showing some really good pace. Nick Hodgson now all over the back of Barry Dunford. Got to be coming towards the end of the race. I'm sure these guys are absolutely desperate for the checkered flag to be shown, and that's it. I believe that is the end of the race. Nick Hodgson coming across to take not only the win but the overall win. David Jeremy coming home for Class B, followed by JP Nokia. But let us see how this pans out, because it was kind of anybody's game in the wet. So let's see, how do we stack up? for the end of race 1 and those results. Okay, so in Class B, we end up with David Jeremy taking top honours, with JP Norkia and Sean Hewitt coming home in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Class L, we have Nick Hodgson taking overall win, and Class L, Sean Hepburn and Davide Favo following up with podiums respectively. Brilliant racing from all of these drivers. But after all that excitement, let's check in with the drivers and see how they did.
Nick, clearly your last minute setup was exactly needed.
Yeah, no, it worked.
A masterclass on what to do in the wet.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just it all went to plan. I think I was just able to find grip where other people weren't, or something. I'm not sure, but just tried to take it relaxed, not get in your own head too much. It's very easy to get in your own head in the wet, and just feel out the grip. Try and power out the corner more than power in the corner, so to speak, just to keep it on the track. And it worked.
Well
very
done,
happy.
Nick. Well done.
A testing race. Yesterday I put it in the wall and on the exit of turn 8 down the pit straight. A bit too happy with the right foot and did a clive and hit the wall. But luckily for me it wasn't so bad, and they repaired it overnight. Started pole. My word, no grip. No grip. My car doesn't grip up for like 3 or 4 laps, I found. And I think I popped back down to 5th, but slowly got more heat and grip, and I sort of got to the front and then got JP with 2 laps to go. So good fun.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was fun in the beginning. This morning when I woke up, I didn't really know what to expect, honestly. So didn't practice yesterday, so I didn't know what to expect. But got a good start with the restart, and led a few laps, and then the guys got faster, and I just kept it on the road. So second, I'm happy. Cars in one piece. That's the main thing. Just take one complete car.
Well, that's one of the shortest races I've ever done. I didn't even make a lap, unfortunately, so I'm standing out with egg on my face. I had a really nice start, started in 5th place, which was fine. Got off the mark. I saw that I made up 1 or 2 places on the start. A little bit over eager, went through turn 1, and I think I was just a little bit hard on the brake or the accelerator. I can't even remember now. And the back went around, I corrected, probably overcorrected, it shot the other way. And I got onto the grass and I thought, I've got this thing. But the racing guards decided not, and I went into the tires. So fortunately no damage to me. But I've got a left side upright I need to replace, and a lower control arm. But all in a day's work. I'm hoping to be out for the second race.
Cool, good luck.
Thank you.
Before we get to race 2, remember the Lotus Register is an extremely social home for anyone who loves Lotuses, and we are an active club with monthly activities including breakfast runs and more. Don't wait, join now. It's time now to line up for race 2, and you can see those grey skies are very much still there, but the track looking very dry. It will be cold, great for engine temperatures, awful for tyre temperatures. Everybody is off and ready to go. Jeff Gable with a brilliant start there in Class B. Class L looks like Nick Hodgson's got an absolute rocket ship at the start, already challenging a few of the Class Bs. As we take a look at the replay of the start of race 2, on board with both Andy Fulton and Jeff Gable, both getting great starts. You can see Jeff just flying through, although Joseph Kotze comes straight round the outside of him. Andy Fulton looks to go up the inside of Ben Knights. Doesn't quite happen for either of them though. Joseph Kotze definitely trying to consolidate that position, and Jeff getting the cutback. Will he manage to take this position back once again into 3rd gear? He goes and straight through. Great move there from Jeff. Looks like Nick Hodgson getting really held up behind Ronnie Reep, who's of course a rookie driver in Class B, and fantastic to have him. But it does mean that Davide Favo has slipped through Amazing to see some awesome performance from Davide this weekend. Davide has been in the mid-pack and towards the back of Class L, very uncharacteristic for him at the start of 2025. So brilliant to see him back on some form and leading a Class L race. Lap 1 though, anything could happen in this 10-lap race. Let's see how it pans out. Nick Hodgson already straight in the slipstream. Is he going to make a move on Davide into turn 5 on lap 1? No, he thinks better of it. I bet you he's just not quite sure what the grip is going to be like out there. Ben Knights, a fantastic performance from Ben already today and looking to capitalize on that. Tries to go round the outside of Ronnie Reep. You can see Andre Duplessis just slipping through there on the inside of turn 6. Andy Fulton as well on the exit turn 7, heading now down towards turn 8, and that's Barry Dunford getting involved as well. All these guys absolutely swarming all over the back of Ronnie Reep and trying to make a position up while he finds his pace. Back on board now with Jeff Gable as we go through the tabletop through turn 5 and turn 6. You can see Sean Hewitt getting very racy with David Jeremy up front. JP Norkier looking to try and pick up the pieces, and of course Jeff Gable, the wily campaigner, just hanging back a little bit and letting those guys duke it out and not get in any trouble. Andy Fulton though, not making any bones about making a move here in his new car, and just slides up the inside of both Ben Knights and Ronnie Reep. Back with Nick Hodgson though as we go through the last corner of the first lap. Turn 8 over the start finish line. We are side by side with Davide Favo. Who's going to blink? Neither of these drivers. Why would either of them blink? This is to the top of Class L and there's absolutely no blinking allowed. And Nick Hodgson hard on the brakes, trying to go round the outside of turn 2, squeezing Davide Favo to the inside, and that allows him to get a better exit and takes back the lead of Class L. Back with David Jeremy now at the top of Class B, going into turn 5. Look how close these guys are getting. This is brilliant. Sean Hewitt has lost absolutely none of his talent in his absence and is looking to take the fight to David Jeremy. Brilliant racing from these guys, but he got to watch out for JP Nokia, and look at once again getting super squirrely in that B66. And I bet you anything these curbs are super slippery at this stage, particularly while these guys haven't properly warmed up their tires. It will take a little while, I can assure you, in these cold conditions. But Jeff Gable is now all over JP Nokia and goes round the outside through turn 4. What a brilliant move in that green B99 from Jeff Gable, and already having to defend from JP Nokia though. He is definitely not going to let him sit on his laurels, but Jeff has got other ideas as well. He sees that battle between Sean Hewitt and David Jeremy, says, I want a piece of that action, but JP says, do not forget about me, son. I am absolutely here and I will happily go round the outside of you in turn 6. Check this out, and makes that move stick. That was a proper move. I cannot believe what I've just seen. That is incredibly rare to see anyone go around the outside of turn 6, but JP Nokia made it happen, and through turn 1 just getting quite squirrely out of turn 8. He keeps that position, and those 4 live to battle another day, and what a battle it is. Ben Knights though is all over the back of Barry Dunford and looking to make a move. Will he also throw a move up the inside of turn 1, or will he think he's better of it? He's a little bit far back, so just tucks in. We've got Jean de Toy a little bit further ahead, so a great 3-way battle there in the mid-pack of Class L. Back at the front of Class B though, and David Jeremy and Sean Hewitt are not giving each other a moment of peace, and it looks like these guys are going to be battling for pretty much the entire time in race 2 for Class B. And there we go, we see that move around the outside once again from JP Nokia from a reverse camera point of view. We've got Rohan van der Walt now going inside of Andre Duplessis. Andre trying to make a move there on Rohan, just Rohan having absolutely none of it, and Andy Fulton in the background looking to pounce for MMG Ford. Look at this new car, it is absolutely beautiful. Wonderful blue Ford livery as well. JP Nokia now, speaking of blue cars, is all over Sean Hewitt and dives round the outside as we go into turn 5, just locking up a little bit and getting super sideways. Look at that. Once again, absolute full commitment from JP Nokia, taking his outside line through turn 6. It has worked so beautifully for him in race 2 so far. And JP really giving it absolutely everything. You can see how squirrely that car is getting on the exit. Jeff Gable now is closing in on this duo of Sean Hewitt and JP Nokia, and David Jeremy is just hoping and praying these guys battle it out so he can get a little bit of peace and quiet and hopefully break away, but that is not going to happen. This is Lotus Challenge Racing, and this is Class B, and this is the front of Class B, so you can be darn sure that nobody is going to have a moment's worth of peace. And as I say that, JP Nokia gets a brilliant exit out of turn 4. Sean Hewitt tucking in to the slipstream there to try and challenge as well, just off-put David Jeremy, and it seems to have worked because David is now going to be on the outside for turn 6, although we have seen it work for JP. Will it work for David? It doesn't quite work out, and JP Nokia takes provisional lead of this race in Lotus Challenge. You can see just how dark these clouds are. Little spots of rain as well, I can see on David Jeremy's camera. So these drivers are going to have to be very careful. Things could get slippery. Things could get rather punchy as well if they are unsure about these conditions, because you do not want to be locking up into a braking zone. But into this turn 2 braking zone we go, and David Jeremy just isn't able to quite attack JP Nokia at the moment, and it could be a tactic actually, because now we're going to see David Jeremy in the slipstream. Watch this. How's this for a slipstream? As we pan to the side, you can see Jeff Gable and Sean Hewitt also having a battle. Looks like Jeff did get through there on Sean, but now we are with Andy Fulton all over the back of Andre Duplessis. Of course, we've seen these two guys battling it out over many races in the past, so this is going to be an absolute juicy one, I am sure. Into third. Oh, misses a gear. Andy Fulton unable to get a gear, misses a gear, eventually finds third, and Jean de Toy just absolutely swoops by and says, "Thank you very much, Andy. That is an unfortunate mistake for you." Oh, and an unfortunate mistake for JP Nokia and Jeff Gable, both off. What's going on there? That's extremely strange to see two cars off in one corner. Joseph Kotzer comes steaming past Jeff Gable as he recovers. I wonder if there could be oil there. What's going on? But we got Andy Fulton up the inside of Barry Dunford now. This must be how Andy ends up attacking Andre Duplessis up ahead, and you can see Jean de Toy ahead of them. Just absolutely, these guys are changing positions quicker than I know what to do with. Here we go, Jeff Gable now all over the back of Joseph Kotzer, trying to recover after that small half spin lockup. I'm not sure what it was, if it was some oil, what happened, but both JP almost went off and Jeff did go off, but he has managed to recover back into 4th position, and will be trying to attack the leading group, although I think they have scampered off into the distance. This is now from Barry Dunford's point of view, where Andy Fulton missed a gear change and is looking to overtake. This must be how Barry gets past Andy. Do we see? No, closes the door. Andy Fulton not letting Barry have it all his own way. Why would he? Absolutely not a chance, Barry. I'm not giving you a freebie. Thank you very much. Certainly not in my new car. You're going to have to work and go all the way around the outside of turn 5. Let's see what you've got, sir. And in side by side, these guys go through turn 5. Look at that. Barely giving enough room to each other, but absolutely showing respect the whole way. What a pair of gentleman racers these two are. And Barry Dunford tries to go around the outside of turn 7. Doesn't quite work. Just no room there. Tucks back in. Going through turn 8 now. He's going to be looking to try and pick up the slipstream, that's for sure, all the way through turn 1 and then crucially out of 2. And we go on board once again with David Jeremy and Sean Hewitt. And it looks like Sean is trying to go up the inside of David, coming out of turn 4. It definitely looked like, to me, that Sean had a little bit of a better drive, but unable to capitalize at this stage. Could have done with a little bit of slipstream, I feel, but that B66 car is absolutely flying in these tricky conditions. I tell you what, Sean is going to be loving his return to Lotus Challenge. Oh no, and that looks like a spin from Andy Fulton, just getting it slightly wrong, getting off the racing line very, very quickly though, and it looks like absolutely no harm, no foul there, but Andy will be kicking himself, I'm sure. Both these guys coming through, that looks like on Tim Venn, and looks like a lap. Oh, and that's the checkered flag. Brilliant win there, and brilliant battle from these two guys. On board now with Nick Hodgson, coming across for a second win of the day. And just looking in his rear camera, looks like he did manage to pull a little bit of a gap. Barry Dunford, brilliant little result there from Barry, and you can see the chasing pack ahead. I'm sure Barry absolutely loved that. But let's have a look at the results at the end of race 2, how we shaped up. In Class B, David Jeremy just manages to come home with the victory, followed by Sean Hewitt. A brilliant result there from Sean. And then Jeff Gable. In Class L, we had Nick Hodgson coming home ahead of Davide Fambo. Brilliant result from Davide. Great to see him back on the podium.
Sean, congrats on position 2 for race 2.
Thank you kindly.
Tell us a bit about that. The track was a bit dry at least.
Yeah, track was much drier than the first race. We had a exceptional race, very clean between David, Jeff, myself, JP. Good clean dice. Gave each other just enough space to get through on most corners. Had an excellent dice. A good few times we had challenges with Master, the late breakers. Yeah, very enjoyable. Grateful for the second position. One more race to go. Let's hope for the best.
Congrats. Let's hope it stays dry.
I'm hoping so too, but I have my doubts. But I'm holding thumbs.
Good luck.
Thank you kindly.
Davide, second place in race 2. Congrats. Well done. Tell us a bit about that.
Thank you a lot. Thank you. Yeah, it was dry-ish. So I managed to get away, not like race 1 where it was super wet, but race 2 got away, made a gap, kind of maintained it, and that's what I did in race 2. So fortunate, car was behaving as well. Don't have a great lap time, so I'm starting again in like 8th in race 3, but
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. At least the weather's...
Well, we don't
weather's
know
held
what
up.
the weather's wanting to do, you know? You know why they call it weather. It's like whether to go dry or whether to go wet setup right now.
Lead Racing offers Class L race packages including rental and race support. Visit leadracing.co.za today. As we heard from Davide there, we just are not sure what the weather wants to do. We have had rain showers, but it looks to be drying up. On board with Jeff Gable as we got the lights and Ruan van der Walt. Off we go. Looks like Sean Hewitt, though, has got a fantastic start and immediately jumps into the lead. And Jeff Gable has to now try and go around the outside of Sean into turn 1. Ruan van der Walt battling hard there in the mid-pack of Class L. Looks like on board with David Jeremy now. He's got the measure of JP Norkier going into turn 2. Joseph Kotzer just behind, looking for a sniff, any kind of weakness from JP, but David Jeremy is now trying to attack both Sean Hewitt and Jeff Gable. Sean should be in the slipstream, but allows David to grab that slipstream. JP Norkier just behind. These four have been absolutely inseparable this entire day. And it looks to be no different in these tricky conditions as we head into this last race of the day. A shortened race, only 8 laps. JP Norkier now past Sean Hewitt and looking to attack David Jeremy as we go into turn 5 on lap 1 and not quite doing. Sean Hewitt once again getting quite squirrely. Both Sean and JP seem to have very squirrely cars in the early part of this race, but of course that is to be expected given how tricky these conditions are. You can see once more there are drops of water on David Jeremy's car, but none on Ben Knight's, and he's looking to go up the inside of Andre Duplessis. These two mates, of course, have been racing for many a year, but absolutely no quarter given. But here comes Davide Favo on the podium for race 2 and looking to make some moves early on past Ben Knight's and immediately on the attack for Andre Duplessis. Will he go up the inside of turn 8? Not quite, but he's definitely unsettled him, and this could be a side-by-side into turn 1. Except for Mr. Ben Knights, who's having absolutely none of this Davide on Andre action and wants to get involved immediately. But looks like everybody's line astern as they go through turn 2, back on board with David Jeremy as he tries to go around the outside of Jeff Gable. Nothing doing, but I tell you what is doing. JP Norkier, look at that. Two-way overtake, almost 3 wide into turn 5, and JP goes from 3rd straight into 1st. What a move. David Jeremy looking to have some of that action take a slice out of Jeff Gable, but Jeff is absolutely having none of it. Very much not keen to have another slice taken out of him in the matter of 2 corners. But now we've got Andre Duplessis and Ben Knights going side by side. Barry Dunford trying to get in on the action as well. Ronnie Reap ahead, and it looks like Ben might have this move done. Let's see. He goes up the inside into turn 6, and he absolutely has that move Move done. What a incredible move there from Ben Knights and Andre Duplessis following in behind. Barry Dunford just tucking in, trying to pick up that slipstream. David Jeremy now trying to go around the outside of Jeff Gable into turn 2. Jeff having absolutely none of it, and it looks like Sean Hewitt is the big winner there and goes straight past David Jeremy, but is now trying to go up the inside of Jeff Gable. See him, Jeff, see him, make sure he's there, give some room, absolutely make sure that there is some room. And Sean Hewitt now trying to go up the inside of turn 4. That's a very, very brave maneuver. All these guys giving their absolute best, and it looks like Jeff has now gone from 2nd down to 4th. These guys chopping and changing all over the place. David Jeremy now trying to go around the outside of turn 5. It'll be very unlikely for that move to stick, but what it has done is allowed Jeff Gable back in on the action. But this battling is allowing JP Nokia up ahead to scamper away. They do not want to allow him to do that. JP will absolutely convert if you give him the opportunity. Back on board now with Nick Hodgson in Class L. I believe this is the top of Class L at the moment, and trying to battle with Joseph Kotzer and Tinus Burtis up ahead, and Nick sliding through the inside of turn 6 and tucking in once more on the back of Tinus. We haven't seen Tinus too much today, but his pace has been quite incredible. He's really made huge leaps and bounds in this 2025 season, and it shows in the championship standings. Ben Knights now all over Andre Duplessis. These guys are just not giving each other a break. For one moment into turn 4 we go. Will Ben make this move work up the inside? If you can keep that inside line for turn 5, that's definitely where you want to be. You can see Davide Favo and Ruan van der Walt battling up ahead, and I can see somebody in the mirrors of Ben Knights. It's Barry Dunford, of course it's Barry Dunford. Always in for a scrap is old Barry, and Jean de Toy behind. And unfortunately Barry having to take that inside line got slightly compromised, and it absolutely brought Jean back into play. But now we've got Barry all over the back of Andre Duplessis, so we'll have to see how that turns out later on. We've got Jeff Gable up the inside of we've got Jeff Gable up the inside of David Jeremy, and now this is where JP Nokia gets his incredible run and takes the lead. That was from Jeff's perspective. What insane racing we have here in Class B today. It is an absolute incredible performance from all of these drivers, but this top 4 in Class B has just been in another league, and Jeff is now having to try and work his way back up to JP Nokia. We'll have to cut back and see how that pans out. What's panning out right here though is Sean Hepburn's gone round the outside even before turn 4 and got a move done on Ruan van der Walt, but Ruan's going to get a great slipstream up to the top of the hill. But it looks like Sean just had such a great drive through turn 4 that it will not matter, and Sean will take that position. Jeff Gable though, this is the inside move, inside on David Jeremy, and then we will see Sean Hewitt now coming through on the inside of Jeff Gable. Look at how tight this is. Sean is saying, I'm here, give me the room, check me out, and I will absolutely have that position from you, Mr. Gable. Thank you very, very much. And up the inside he goes. Great little move there from Sean, and fantastic, as I said, once again to have him back. You can bet your bottom dollar he has been reignited. His passion for racing has absolutely been reignited, and Jeff Gable has now got a lot of work on his hands. As we go into the middle part of the last race of the day, we have brought you some fantastic racing here at Lotus Challenge at round 3 for the 2025 season at Zwartkops. The tricky conditions really have provided for some incredible racing, and that's Jean de Toy going round the outside of Ronnie Reep into the last corner. You can see Jean just finding that slightly drier tarmac and making it work to his advantage. David Jeremy now making his slipstream work to his advantage through turn 4. Manages to get past Sean Hewitt, takes a defensive line going into turn 5, and should manage to keep that position, but Sean is going to try and sweep around the outside. While it works slightly, it does not give you the advantage for turn 6, and that's typically where you're going to lose out. He must watch out for Jeff Gable though. Wow, that was close between the two of them, because that inside line does generally give you slightly better grip. However, these tricky conditions have sometimes shown us that experimenting with lines has paid dividends for certain drivers, particularly JP Nokia, who's currently leading this race. Ruan van der Walt though is absolutely not letting Sean Hepburn have everything his own way, having gone round the outside of him into turn 4. Ron is now picking up that slipstream and using it to his advantage. You can see in his rear view mirror there that we have the likes of Davide Favo catching that pack. Oh, Sean, big lockup into turn 5, and David Jeremy just not sure what happened there. Unsure. David is extremely unhappy about something, but Sean has got that position. I wonder if there was flags or something. I didn't see anything, but we'll cut back and find out what happened later. Nick Hodgson now all over the back of Tinus Zwartkops. Is he going to be able to make a move here? Unlikely. The power of that Toyota 1.6 engine is just quite incredible compared to the Ford Rocam, and Ben Knights is now trying to make a move on Davide Favo, and it goes up the inside into turn 1. What a brave move there from Ben. Always a brave move, but in these tricky conditions where you're not quite sure what the grip is going to be when you arrive there, that is incredible. But Davide Favo is very much a wily campaigner, has gone up the inside of turn 2, but this is going to give Ben the advantage going down the straight. However, he gets that advantage a little bit too early, has to pull out very, very early. I wonder if we're going to see him try to go around the outside. We absolutely are going to see him try to go around the outside and makes that move stick. I thought he was going to tuck in and try and have an attack into turn 5, but Ben is impatient and just makes that move work for himself immediately. And here we go, Jean de Toy going up against Barry Dunford and slides up the inside of turn 1, easy as you like. Jean making that look very, very easy, and just a huge amount of speed in that car, and Barry just has to now sit in and try and get his own back, and this is a perfect opportunity to do so. However, coming out of turn 2, you're going to get a great slipstream all the way through 3 and into 4, and then even all the way up to 5. So how Barry plays this is going to be very, very interesting to see. Is he going to try and pull a bend and go straight around the outside? He is going to try and pull a bend. Is it going to work? Not quite. He's a little bit, but he is alongside. Look at this, trying to go around the outside. He definitely needs to try and get that inside line for turn 5 though to make a move, and has to back out of it. Look at Jean going so defensive already. And oh, we got yellow flags. That's why they've backed off. Yellow flags means no overtaking, and both drivers taking it quite cautiously through turn 5. Where are our green flags? Waiting for our green flags, and we will go racing again. But these two are absolutely lining each other up for a ding-dong battle once again. And Barry's looking to make a move. We've got green flag racing once again, and into turn 8 we go. Who's going to come out on top? Barry tries for the cutback. Canny little move there from Barry, and let's see how it pans out for him later on. David Jeremy is now, they've managed to catch up to JP Norkier. Look at this, JP had a bit of a gap, but something must have happened, and no longer does that gap exist. Looks like Sean Hewitt possibly missed a gear or something, but David Jeremy has just gone straight through on Sean and looking to now attack JP. We've got, of course, Jeff Gable is trying to hang on to the back of this pack. Not quite successfully at the moment, but we'll see how we go towards the end stages of this race. Sean Hewitt really trying to have a move on David, but David's desperate just to get after JP Norkier rather than having to defend there from Sean. And at the moment it looks like David has managed to scene off Sean Hewitt for the moment, but into the last corner we go. See who's going to be bravest on the brakes here. Looks like David Jeremy's going to get a good exit out of the last corner and manage to defend against Sean. Now his attentions are going to turn to JP Norkier, who is right there. We'll have to see how that pans out. We're going to come back to that just now. Now we're on board with Nick Hodgson, who I believe is leading Class L at the moment, all over the back of Tinus Zwartkops though, and trying to make a move on him. Let's see how it pans out for Nick. Oh, and there's the checkered flag. That's it. Race 3 done and dusted. They crossed the start-finish line. Let's have a look at those results. Extremely close from all of these drivers, but at the end of the day in Class B, we had a wonderful result from JP Norkier, taking the top spot for Class B, followed closely, of course, as we saw, by David Jeremy and then Sean Hewitt rounding out that podium, followed by Jeff Gable. Nick Hodgson taking top honours once more in Class L, followed by Andy Fulton and Rowan van der Walt. But let's see and hear from the drivers for one last time. Great racing here at Lotus Challenge for the last race of the day in round 3.
Race 3 win.
Thank you.
You made that look easy, but they were catching up to you, eh?
Yeah, there was well up at 5, and it caught me out, but I don't think it caught them out so much. So they caught me there. But yeah, just we didn't think we were going to make the third race, so everything still looks good. This car either finishes, it doesn't want to finish 3 races, so I think we must change it back to 2 races, because it either wins or finish second or it doesn't finish. Thank you.
Thanks, JP. Jeff, race 3 done and dusted on a wet Zwartkops race day. Tell us about how that went.
It doesn't feel very much like summer, does it? I saw one of the family members a little bit earlier this afternoon cradling a hot water bottle. So it's not what we expect for the Highveld. Great day of racing, very tricky conditions, right? Slippery for everybody. But we didn't bring too many banged up cars home. I started race 3 from pole, which is quite exciting. Been a while since I've been there. Bogged down on the start, got swallowed, and then other people seemed to be missing gears, what have you. So somehow I made it out of turn 2 in the lead. Kept the lead for about a lap and a half, but that was all I had in it. The fact is, I'm just not quick enough today. So it was fabulous to be caught up in the fight. And then also quite entertaining to be a little bit of a gap back, but watching 3 people pile on. Very good racing. I'm sure the footage is going to be superb from today.
To be honest, I think it's all Luna. It's not really me. But today, race 1 and race 3, we did quite well because of the rain. Some reason. I think for race 1, I managed to do one of my best laps, best times in the wet. So I actually got on the 4th, on the grid in race 2. I guess because my lines are slightly different than most people, especially my wet line. I take a lot of middle lines, and I think this is why I managed to steer away with all the rubberies. And I think as long as it's raining, I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
Nice one, Tim. Guys, race 3 done and dusted. Tell us about how that went.
Yeah, I got a good start, and I think Sean had something at the start that made him
A little bit of wheel spin off the mark.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, because he just dropped straight back.
Yeah.
And I look behind me, and I'm like, oh, I have a gap. For the first time ever in Class L, there's a gap. And so I was able to hook onto the back of B, get one of the slower Bs immediately, and that helped me because I think you guys then had to work your way through.
Yeah, Andre and I had a real challenge to try and keep up behind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
And then as you say, I stuck behind Tennis, used his slipstream, found my rhythm, kept it going. Andre dropped oil, I think from his oil cooler or something, but he retired. Almost went off in turn 5 in his oil, but managed to keep it on the track and just fended this guy off.
Mid-section, I had a nice start. I was third on the grid, so I managed to make one place. I pulled up to second behind Nick. We had a good few, the few laps to start off with were really nice, the track was dry. Mid-section we had a few drops, I don't know if you noticed.
Yes, we did.
One or two drops so the pace slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Then unfortunately Andre was off. We managed to keep it going. You had a brilliant tow. I had a brilliant drive. I was feeling really comfortable. So today guys, I just want to say I've been from one of my lowest lows to a medium to almost one of my highest highs. But I'm just what a privilege to be able to start, to finish. I'm getting used to the new car, and I just want to say to everybody out there, never give up.
He's back.
Nice, congrats.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Thanks. Well done, brother.
Join us in KZN on the 3rd of May for Round 4 at Desi Raceway in Port Shepstone.
I don't know if you're filming, but